What up? Happy Tuesday. I couldn't think of a thing to make a video about, but I did say yesterday I'd be back tomorrow, so here we are, kind of on the fly. We are on the Richmond Santa Fe Bridge headed west on the top deck. And we were talking about it earlier, and I'd never really thought about it. This is a pretty long bridge. It's a dangerous bridge, too, when it's windy and raining like it is right now. I'm getting shoved around. I'm loaded, though. I think I'm sitting about 62,000, so not that big a deal. But where it gets dangerous is traffic will back up later in the day during the commute hours, and you get these gusty winds, and they'll blow semis over, not off the side or nothing, but they blow them over on top of cars. A few years ago, there was I want to say it was a Safeway driver, was sitting in traffic. He got blown over. He was empty or real light, got blown over and killed a guy in a car, the driver of the four-wheeler. And then not too long ago, about a year ago, on the bottom deck, there was a dry van, and he was empty and stuck in traffic, and no one got hurt, luckily, but it was all over the internet. I'll see if I can find it. It's all over the internet for a while. Someone was filming or recording, and he got blown up against these pillars you see on the side, the girders, and it fucked the trailer all up, tore it up, but no one got hurt, luckily. I hope I'm not ever in that situation. I definitely think about it in the back of my mind whenever I go over a bridge. It's something that can happen, but I mean, there ain't much you can do about it because you can't get anywhere in the Bay Area without crossing a bridge. It's just how it is. You'd have to do, I did the math one time. It was something like 300 miles out of route just to not cross a bridge. And you'd still cross smaller ones, just not these big ones. What are we talking? Oh, we were talking about earlier how long it is. It's 5.5 miles. I looked it up. I've never really thought about it. 5.5 miles. And at the highest point, which we're approaching right now, we will be at 185 feet to the bottom of the bridge, plus whatever we are. So probably, roughly 200 feet or two something where we're actually riding at. But it's 185 foot clearance, and that's for ships and whatnot, because big freighters come through here with the not tanks, tankers also, but containers. They go to the port in Vallejo. I hope you guys could see that rainbow. That's kind of cool looking. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera or not, but that's kind of cool. Yeah, we're still getting hammered out here. It's been a lot more flooding, and the more rain we get, the worse flooding will become because there's just less places for the water to run off to. The rivers are all overflowing, and the creeks and the drainage and everything's backing up. And then here we are kind of affected by the tides because the bay is directly connected to the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, through the Golden Gate. So when it's high tide, the water rises in the bay, rises and falls every day. But all this water, the rivers and creeks that run into the bay, when the tide goes up, they back up. And I don't know how many miles, but I know right off the top of my head, there's places 30 miles away that get affected by that. So you could be nowhere near the actual bay on a daily basis and still get your town flooded because of it. So it doesn't happen often, but it's happening right now, that's for sure. And it's sad. People are losing stuff. Luckily, I don't know of any deaths. Maybe. I haven't heard of any. I think the evacuations are being pretty... you're getting a lot of warning. So people are having the opportunity to get a lot of their stuff and get out. I don't think it's straight flash floods. I haven't seen too much of that. We got some thunder and lightning. I was out in the valley earlier. I was out headed towards I-5 in Lodi. It was a pretty cool lightning show when it was still dark. And I tried to film a little, but it just doesn't show up. You know how it is. And I wasn't trying to mess with settings and zooms and stuff because, driving a truck and have time to mess with all that. So, yeah, 5.5 miles. And we're almost to the other side. This is going to be a short one today because that's about all I really want to cover. I just wanted to check in. So, yeah, see, the tide's in right now. I don't know if you could tell, but that water's right up to the bridge. Like if you're in that's a bike lane to my right because we're in California. We used to have 3 vehicle lanes on the top deck, but they deleted one and made it a bicycle lane for which like probably 12 or 13 people a day get lots of use out of. But if you were standing in the bicycle lane, you could reach down and touch the water right now. It's right up to the bridge. And I don't know if you can see it, but if maybe you can zoom in, there's a pier over there to the right. That's a private fishing club. It's the Marin Rod and Gun Club. And I think it's kind of dwindled in membership over the years because most of the members are just older and just, I don't know if they're being replaced because that dock's been looking kind of sad lately. Not a lot of maintenance going into it. Go to that pier. I guess it's more of a pier than a dock. There's good fishing out there, though. Shark, sturgeon, bass, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of fish in the bay. Used to be salmon. I guess they still get salmon once in a while, but not as far up as they used to. And sometimes you can't eat them because of the mercury levels, which is kind of unfortunate. A lot of pollution in the bay. It's kind of like all the water that comes in out of the rivers and whatnot kind of like gets washed in the bay before going out to the ocean. So it traps a lot of, pollutants, oils, and garbage and stuff. All right. Well, there you go. I should have looked up. Next time I'll look up a little more. I can't really give credit, but a few of us were talking about it earlier. I'll give a little history of the bridges because you're only going to see so many bridges. We got 7 bridges, major ones, that cross the bay. We got the one we just went over, Santa Fe Richmond. We got the Golden Gate, which you see all the time. The Oakland San Francisco, which we went over yesterday. The Benicia, which spans Benicia, believe it or not. The Carquinez, which is Vallejo. The San Mateo, which you guys have seen I've done before, which is a really long one. And the Dunbarton further south. So it's only so many bridges, so I'll try to look up a little knowledge and throw that in there amongst my other various ramblings of whatever I think about when I'm making these videos. So anyway, all right, thank you for joining me. Be safe out here. It's pretty nasty. I don't know, wherever you're at, you're probably experiencing winter weather as well. Unless you're in Texas. I've seen some pictures. Guys in Texas are having a field day right now. It's looking all bright and shiny and just warm, and people walking around in shorts and flip-flops and whatnot. So maybe Texas is the spot to be right now. All right. I'll catch y'all later. Have a good day. Be safe. Bye.